As I sometimes say when people draw a conclusion from my sermons, that is an accurate conclusion to draw.
Oh, thanks so much. I feel so validated.
Or if I'm trying to be more subtle, that's a conclusion you could draw.
A conclusion you can drew.
Wait a minute, where's that?
Come on.
Rim shot
Come
button.
on. It was right there. It was right over the plate.
Church in space.
Welcome, everybody, to Church in Space.
In 3D.
Okay, we're getting good at that. You did it, Join.
Yes.
It was perfect.
But we wanted to include you.
I appreciate it, but you guys did.
Thank you.
All right, the voices you hear, we will go around and introduce ourselves. So, hi, everybody. I'm Pastor Dave Kamphuis, pastor of Resurrection, and on this podcast most of the time.
Oh, yeah, there was the other times.
Yeah,
Yeah, we lost them. Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah.
But we got to do that great galactic tour as a result.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was cool. Who are you?
Who are you?
I am Dan. I am also here most of the time. And it is yet to be determined to what species I belong.
None of them is definitely the consensus.
You are your own species.
Yes.
Prototype and complete project.
Well, I mean, it is a little
Homo
incomplete,
Dan.
but
Homo sapien Dan. The new subtype of the human
Homo
species.
Danians. Yes.
Right.
so you are the missing link. Anyway, I am Drew Nelsen. I'm here all of the time. And to my immediate right, because we can see this in a podcast,
Absolutely.
is...
My name's Julia. Drew's my brother. I've known him, unfortunately, all my life. He told everyone that I was evil a couple episodes into the podcast.
You can be
For the
evil.
record, I'm not.
You're not, but you can be when you
It's actually
choose
the
to.
main reason you're guest starring. Right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
It's just to correct.
To clear the air.
Gotta clear my name.
And yet we covered this, I think, in the third episode, that the most evil of villains firmly believe they're not.
That's true.
Okay, I can...
Oh, no.
No, you don't think that.
All right. And also with us is...
I am Kate Venable. I am married to Pastor Dave, and I'm also an attorney, and I am not usually here, but decided to join today.
And we'll leave it up to the audience to guess why we decided we needed to have an attorney present during our recording sessions.
You know,
No idea.
we're on to you, FCC. We're on. We've got your game. We are returning to a topic we did early in the series. We're returning to The Mandalorian because there's a new season out. And like all the other seasons, it is brilliant, I think, at least.
Yes.
In Dave Filoni, we trust.
And Favreau.
And Favreau,
Yes,
right?
yes.
These are the people we trust in. So to start with this, Julia, you came up with kind of where to begin with this topic, but I'll start with the religious side, I guess, in that there's been big, like the water baptism Mandalorian theme has been not so subtle.
Really?
We hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
When you bathe in the living waters
Yeah,
of
bathe
Mandalore?
and
I
live
don't
it.
get
Like, I swear that speech, I could like use it as like the baptismal prayer at somebody's, baptism.
Yes.
We need to reaffirm our baptism.
Absolutely. We can.
Okay, when are we
Yeah.
doing this, Dan? The week after Easter?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Why wait? And we got to get the emblem of the Mythologosaurus.
Yes. Absolutely.
The thesaurus.
We got to find the dark saber too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, these are going to be the most wicked awesome baptisms that
Yes.
ELCA has ever
Absolutely, right before I'm defrocked. But
seen. Look, if you're going to go out in style,
We've
man.
been trying.
Go big or go home. So I don't, it's interesting how much place is this very important piece, right, in Mandalorian. Like the wandering guy is always in search of the place, and holiness is centered on this place, right? It's this physical cave that, like in the episode, like, spoilers if you haven't seen it, stop listening to this podcast now, but Bo-Katan is like, yeah, this is a stupid tourist trap. It's got a plaque. It's got even like, I swear they designed it like one of those like state plaque things, like, right? Like down in that basement cave thing that they're in. And so, so it's interesting how place and holiness like connect in that show.
I'm just glomming onto your term basement cave. Now I want to build a basement cave.
A cave in your basement or
Yeah.
or a basement in your cave?
I think a cave in my basement.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Julia, do you want to continue on with the topic of whales?
Of whales?
Yes.
Well, initially I texted Drew and I said you should do an episode on Pedro Pascal. But then I realized I didn't have enough content for that. So then I wanted to talk about space whales.
His mustache is more than enough content.
I mean, yeah.
That's true.
No, but let's not move on too quickly here.
Right.
Okay.
Plug.
Yeah. I mean, Pedro Pascal has become such a breakout star.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and there are men and women both who follow him with just drooling at the very concept that Pedro is within 100 feet of them.
It's one of those actors that makes, like, he is the reason that things work.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've been rewatching, like, Narcos and the Netflix show, and, like, it really works because of Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
You know, like, even the main character for the first 2 seasons, like, he's not even there for season 3 because it's like they woke up and they were like, we don't need him.
And they were wrong.
Yeah.
What was
So I tried to watch the first episode of The Last of Us this week, and I got 10 minutes in, just about to where things started happening. But it's the same storyline as Mandalorian is Pedro Pascal plus child. And he's tasked with protecting said child.
Yeah.
And that's just such a story, just a story that keeps happening.
It is interesting how that happens with actors sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, they play the same. Like, Jennifer Aniston is literally the same person in every single thing she's ever been in.
Absolutely. And when she's with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And like so many movies.
Yeah.
I have a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal as Iron Man and Tom Holland still as Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like the adopting
Robert-
kid gets a little creepier when it's like they're actually full grown.
Yeah.
Well, and Robert Downey
look
Jr.
at-
though. You
But
can't
look at
take
Robert
him
Downey
away.
Jr. and Tom
Yeah.
Holland. Like,
Yeah.
it is the same kind
It
of
is.
thing.
Yeah, it is the
Yeah, you
father.
just can't take him away from Iron Man, though.
Yeah.
It's just one of the
Yeah.
same.
Well, then who else can we put him into in the MCU?
What other father-son relationships can we stick Pedro Pascal in?
Reed and Franklin Richards.
Yes. Ares and Phobos is his kid, right? Early 2000s, because he was part of the Nick Fury's team that came in. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
They do this sometimes.
I don't know.
We've heard.
God, going into Nick's squad.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. What was his name? But yes.
Yeah.
I see him in Jack Kirby form right now.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to Julia. Sorry.
We have a guest. Use them.
Well, in one of the recent episodes in season 3 of Mando, you see it when they're in hyperspace in the new Naboo cruiser, whatever it is.
Starfighter. Yes.
Starfighter. There you go. You see them in hyperspace, and you see the shadow of a thing go by.
Yes.
And this is where I came up with the idea for space whales. Because if you watch Clone Wars, or is it Rebels?
Yeah, they did a bunch of weirder stuff.
There was the Purgle thing. I don't know. But basically, they go around space, and they're in big plot points. We have yet to see how they come actually into the season of Mando. And then I was watching the Matt Smith Doctor Who seasons recently. The Beast Below, which is just the second episode, which has the creature, just a really old, really kind sort of beast, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, so to give Pastor some reference, when, the British Empire decides to go into outer space, they they colonize on top of a space whale.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. They build their whole ship around this whale. It's just taking them through space.
Farscape, the main ship of Farscape. It's the same thing. And before Farscape, there was a graphic novel, I think it was called Abraxas and the Whale, which was fascinating but similar, where you had living ships that were basically space whales, but you piloted them around. It was cool because this human gets captured and they flay him and they hold his skin as the collateral. So he's walking around fleshless but alive because they put like this synth clear plastic around so he doesn't die. And if he finishes his mission, they give him his skin back. It was awesome.
Okay. Well, we'll take your word for it, Dan.
Put on the Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I think with Mandalorian, I was almost disappointed that he went back to the wider group and like did the redeeming
to his
thing.
clan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'll be interested to see, I guess, how they resolve this now, because there's this real tension that I thought was really powerful in season 2 at the end, like when he was trying to get Grogu back, and like he took off his helmet, after he gave him up, and like there was this interesting. It almost felt like this movement beyond like rigid orthodoxy, into maybe there's something more important. My relationship with this being is more important than the rigid orthodoxy. And then to have it all kind of returned to, well, okay, now I'm going back to rigid orthodoxy.
Well, but that's how they have to get
that's
Boca Raton.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, they're obviously going to be a big religious revelation for her because of her conversion in the living waters when she sees the beast.
The beast.
And that's a little bit more of a compelling storyline, too, because she was rightful ruler of Mandalore, and now look at how she is.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's a really cynical ruler turned true believer.
Well, ish.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like she bought into all of the I must keep my helmet on sort of rigidness, but she was at least polite enough to assimilate into their culture and put the helmet on. And all that stuff.
I just think it's going to be a matter of time before she takes her helmet off, and she'll take it off on accident, and then she's going to want to redeem herself again.
Yeah.
It's probably something to do with Ahsoka.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Are you caught up on Mandalorian?
No, I'm down in an episode.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm actually ahead of you.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Jeez.
Ha.
How does it feel?
Plus
I know.
bonus 4.
I'm surprised you're spoiler free this far.
Feels good to be on top of it. Yeah.
You're going to be really excited, hopefully, when you watch this week's episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, getting back onto actual topic.
Getting back onto topic.
Getting back onto topic.
Oh, wait. We all have to say it then, I guess. Getting back to topic. Counselor.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like as far as back to the helmet stuff. Sorry, train of thought. Wow.
You haven't learned to maintain your train despite what Drew and I are doing in the
Yeah.
background.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave's gotten really good at that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I agree with Dave. Like, I'm going to be interested to see where they go with this at this point, because it seemed like it was going down the path of everything I thought I knew was true is not, and there are other things that are more important. But now he has, redeemed himself. So, like, where are we going from here? And so I'll just be interested to see.
Yeah.
Basically, does Mando go off and create reformed conservative Mandalorians?
I would think so, actually.
A new denomination.
Yes.
You can take your helmet off occasionally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm waiting to see the Mandalorians then that drive buggies and
Amish Mandalorians.
yeah, they make cheese and they make cabinets for the rest of Mandalore.
well, see, that's when they build their ships on top of the whales, and they use the whales to get between planet to planet, and the entire time they're just churning butter.
On the
Not
space
Beskar,
whale.
butter.
Space whale butter.
Yes. Yes.
That sounds vile. Absolutely. Just absolutely.
Now I want to try it.
It's probably an ingredient in the blue and green milk that.
Exactly where I was going. It
Yeah.
has to be blue butter.
It'll
gotta
be
be blue. Okay.
Baru brand.
There's a lot of foods that, like, in America are colored a certain way, and like it's just because we dye them because we want them to look that way. And
Yeah.
I was really disturbed the first time I was in Hungary and I saw like some of these really like butter, like basic, that are like a different color. I was like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that supposed to be? Like, it's that. I was like, that's not the right color.
I can't eat this.
Yeah. All right. So, Mandalorian.
Yes.
I want to get back to Pedro Pascal. I want to know,
Okay.
why is he so hot? It came out of the blue. All of a sudden,
Right?
he's internet daddy, and
I mean, part of it's the fame thing, right? Like, I remember when The Sopranos was big, like James Gandolfini went from like no-name guy to he was on the cover of People as sexiest man of the year.
yeah, like 36 seconds
Yeah.
after the first episode.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and James Gandolf, what the heck?
Chris Pratt.
You know, right.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
one of
Chris
the
Pratt.
Guardians.
I mean, it helped that he doubled his body weight in muscle, but yeah, you know,
In
like,
6 months, by the way.
yeah,
Amazing.
yeah,
I
right.
drank a lot of beer. Still one of the best lines from Parks and Rec ever.
Yeah.
Was a great line.
But it's, Pedro has been around a while. So
Yeah.
what took people so long to suddenly say, "Oh, he's wonderful"?
I think it wasn't
He wasn't mainstream. Yeah.
Like with Disney, like having the Star Wars stuff now, like a lot of this stuff is becoming mainstream that wasn't before.
Right. And like everyone's tuning in to watch The Mandalorian episode by episode. And the same with The Last of Us, because that was really big. He's the main character in two major franchises, kind of overlapping at the same time.
Right.
I
also think, like, you think about it, like the Narcos role is like the first real big role that I remember him in. But like, role has something to do with attractiveness, right? You know, and so like in Narcos, he's a cynical womanizer who sleeps with prostitutes, you know, who's also like a drunk and yet is a capable cop, you know, like, so like the role is just a little less attractive than I think the nurturing thing, you know, has something to do with this guy who's good-hearted kind of in the end, you know.
Oh, I'm sure it doesn't hurt that in Mando he's got a bedroom voice.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good-hearted mercenary, I think, is like something a lot of people are attracted to, which is what he plays in both Mandalorian and Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
like good-hearted mercenary.
Just look at the accessibility of it too. Like more and more people are subscribing to Netflix or HBO and Disney. He didn't get big after he did Game of Thrones or big after he did Wonder Woman 2. He was in that. It was just I know, but he didn't have the beard, which really threw me off.
Mustache,
Beard,
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
facial hair. All right. Well, as much as we ever come to a conclusion, we've come to the conclusion.
Did we?
Yeah. Well, we've come to the conclusion that there are religious themes in Mandalorian, which everybody should explore, and Pedro Pascal is awesome.
Yeah.
Which, if you get two things from this podcast,
Space whales and Pedro Pascal.
right? Please get this.
I think that's an accurate conclusion one could reach. Yeah.
Right. That's the
So
conclusion
what?
we could reach. So what? Much more Pedro Pascal. That's the so what.
Oops.
All right. We'll edit that out in post.
No. I think we should enhance it in post. This is Drew breaking the audio equipment.
Right.
Come on, Drew.
Come on, Drew.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Get
leave it there
together.
in case
Yeah, let's just not touch it.
it's still working.
So-
The broken
All right.
wire.
On to our game. Our game also comes. This podcast was brought to you by Julia. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Our game. This is a good game. Could you survive Order 66? Since we're in the Star Wars universe, and we keep learning about new survivors and stuff like that. So, could you survive Order 66? Who wants to go first?
I think Julia should go first because it's her game.
Assuming I'm a Jedi, I probably would not survive Order 66. Come
I like
on.
that honesty. I like that honesty.
I have little skills.
Uh-huh.
Could I fend myself off with a lightsaber? Absolutely. Drew and I would have lightsabers and rough around sometimes. Those skills are not the ones I'm doubting. But the asthma, I could not get very far because of my exercise-induced asthma, and I can't call my dad old until I can beat him in a race. It's got to be a sprint because I could barely make it around the bases in softball. What used to happen in church softball was I would get to first, and then one of the Mr. Oler would be batting behind me, and he'd get it out into the outfield. So I would have to go from first base all the way to home, and he would just be gaining on me the whole time.
Have you ever been lapped in baseball?
Yes. I would think that the clones would be able to catch up.
Okay. clones could be able to catch you.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect the honesty
Yeah.
there. I really do.
Yeah.
That's knowing yourself, you know.
Yeah.
No delusions at grandeur. I like that.
Speaking of asthma,
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of asthma, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I would have to be creative because also can't breathe. Especially lately, as you can tell by my voice, probably. Yeah, I don't know.
Would you join the Imperial Lawyers Guild? Because I'm assuming there is one.
Ooh.
Someone might come to save you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in this scenario, are you a lawyer in the Galactic? Are you a Jedi? Are you a lawyer in
Lawyer Jedi?
I'm the Jedi lawyer.
Yes.
Makes cross-examination really easy. You will tell me everything.
Insidious versus Jin.
Yeah.
You will recall the judge rule.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have to be like, if I were to survive it, I would have to be super creative and sneaky, which I could be.
So, in conclusion,
With my luck, no, I would not survive, but I would try.
wow, we're batting 0 for 2 right now. This is not. Yeah.
All right.
So, if it involved any sort of like running, look at me. Then no.
Yeah.
Like if I had to survive by like outrunning the clones, or by like pulling an Obi-Wan and like surviving a fall, given how clumsy I am, like the answer would be no.
There's no way.
You know, there's no way. Like,
no way.
like if I'm on that like cawing horse thing that he's on, and I fall off the thing, I don't magically swan dive into, you know, the water to live.
Yeah.
I crack my head on the first rock, and
that's it.
And that's it. Just, oh, he's dead. We found his body floating down.
Yeah, the
the
clone
river.
troopers don't even have to fire a shot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just,
You'd
oh,
probably break your ankle trying to run away.
you're right. Yeah, right. I break my ankle like running away, like, you know. So if it's that kind of survival, like, no chance.
Okay.
I think.
Wait. So if it's that kind of survival, meaning if it's that kind of survival where you live through it.
No, like it's that kind of survival.
No, it's where you don't live.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's that kind of survival situation, like you know, like I no, like I'm not outrunning the clones. I'm not, you know, like I'm not escaping them. I'm not pulling a Yoda and like backflipping their heads clean off their head, you know, bodies. Like, you know, that's not happening. However, it has been established that not all Jedi were actually at the temple or out on deployment, right? They're in many locations, right? You know, kind of throughout. Like,
At a location near you.
well, right. Like, but like some are at the Senate, some are, you know, they're all over the place, right? So I do feel sort of confident that I could talk my way if I were like, if I'm like at the Senate House, for example, and it's not like just absolutely crawling with clones, but the order goes down and I see the fire kind of at the Jedi Temple. I'm kind of confident I could convince like the janitor or something to put me in a trash can and like sneak me out the back door. You know,
Which didn't that happen in Clone Wars? Wasn't there someone who escaped from the Jedi Temple janitorially?
No, I thought that was how they broke. Wasn't that how Bane broke in to get a holocron?
yeah,
That was
right.
it. That was it.
Right,
That was
but if
it.
it breaking in, breaking out works similar, right?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
like I feel like I could.
Yeah, like if I weren't at the Jedi Temple
Right.
when it
Yeah.
happened, I probably would be fine.
Like I'm not pulling in a mod best and like besting,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
multiple, you know,
Or, like,
multiple clone troopers.
if I were like somewhere else and heard about it,
Yeah.
then I feel like I would be creative and sneaky enough to like disguise my Jedi-ness.
But
And
they also
survive.
have the trap for the Jedi,
They do.
being like, "Here, come back to the temple."
I'm absolutely convinced I would not fall for that one.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
would.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I'd be like, ain't no way I'm going back there. You know, that's my like basic theory.
Spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah.
I want to rewind a quick second because we didn't really establish this. What Jedi job would you do? Because I can totally see you being, you know, in the library as a Jedi Templar. Like, and you and Jocasta would have like actually escaped because
Yeah.
Jocasta, that's her name, right? The librarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually escaped Order 66.
Right.
I can totally see you doing that.
Yeah.
And then Kate's definitely like in the outer rim doing Jedi lawyering.
Something.
An audit investigation
Yes.
into like
But that brings me back to Julia. What would your Jedi job be?
Oh. I
Gotta be like a
mean,
bartender at like the Jedi Temple,
The Jedi
right?
bartender.
Right.
No,
I mean,
that's what I
version
would
of-
do as my disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just like
oh yeah, bartender, yeah, barkeep.
just be like, I'm gonna like, here's my local
Yeah.
bar. I'm gonna bartend now, and no one would ever know.
I feel like it's easier to survive on Coruscant also than actually,
Yeah.
because like you just go into that
You just gotta
underworld.
go one,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
one level down. That's
Yeah,
it.
go one level down, and then it's like
Nobody goes there.
Yeah.
So.
sort of nobody goes there, right? Like you just
Yeah.
hang out down there. That's for the rest of your life.
I feel like if I had a job as a Jedi, it would either be pushing paperwork, which is what I currently do, or being some sort of
I could see you
diplomat
talking
to the Senate.
Obi-Wan, being like,
Yeah.
"You didn't file your 1077. You blew up a planet, and you didn't file."
That or like some sort of like form of human resources.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So
or
de-
non-human resources.
like delegating where the different Jedi go on missions.
Jedi
Yeah,
resources.
that would be a
Jedi
cool-
resources.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jedi resources.
I'm
So
in JR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably would be at the temple, but I would probably also have an office in the Senate, so I could hide in
Yeah.
both offices.
Right.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe.
if you were at your Senate office, then you could like.
Yeah.
Because I think location makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Like the people who
Location.
survive, like
Mhm.
Everybody at the temple was screwed.
yeah,
Like there was even the like nimble, like whatever, agile Jedi probably wouldn't have been able to get out of that.
True.
Well, although one did, the one who helped Grogu escape.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but he was awesome. So
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
there's going to be the
Well,
one. Like,
and
the
Jocasta.
vast majority
Yeah,
of them
There's-
are not.
There
Yeah.
was a small handful that actually did.
but,
I
but
mean, there,
overall, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Dan, what is your Jedi job, and would you survive Order 66?
I would survive Order 66, but it's because,
confidence.
as with most of my life, I always miss the cool big stuff. So more than likely, I would have done something that got me in trouble with Mace, and he would have put me on garbage detail. And so I was actually hauling stuff out to the garbage container. I was bringing the garbage out
While
when
Anakin's
the
doing
attack hit. Yeah,
We're doing that
Anakin's
pretty
doing that.
sweet to the to the Imperial
And there's enough
March
garbage, and I daydream enough that I would have flung a couple of bags in, and then kind of like looked up and said, "Wow, I wish I could get off planet," and blah blah blah. It wasn't that last episode of Star Trek really good because they had Star Trek then, and then I would have wandered back in and just like,
you would have seen
What
like you would have
happened?
seen the explosion from
Yes.
the top of the like. You've been like, oh,
but that's why I would
Look at the pretty
survive.
ball
Yeah.
of fire
Yeah.
in the sky.
It wouldn't be because of any kind of great Jedi powers or athletic acumen
just
or
been
bravery.
complete.
I was out
So-
doing a chore, and that's when they decided to strike.
So
Pure happenstance.
Yeah.
you'd be a Jedi Jar Jar Binks essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's any question. I just speak a little better, but that's about the size of it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Dumpster survival, we'll call it.
Yeah, method.
Yeah.
Escaping through the trash compactor.
Shut down
Damn.
all the trash compactors.
Tried and true Star Wars. thing.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. So my Jedi job would have to do something with a shipyard or something like logistics.
Like the hover bike maintenance guy.
Yeah, or like the Jedi that's making sure that everything's prepped in the shipyard on Coruscant or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that where I can easily have access to something to escape. I don't think I would last a whole lot longer after I escaped the temple, but
Yeah, that's
Well, if you were at a shipyard, there would be lots of clones there
no, I don't think
guarding the shipyard.
no.
depends on the shipyard, right? If it's
Yeah.
like an
Yeah.
actual like military shipyard, then yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but they
But if
weren't
it's- yeah.
they weren't really guarding the temple hangar.
Mhm.
They literally just marched up the stairs.
There could have been a detachment.
But if it's like the one on Coruscant, where it's just like a heaping pile of Imperial.
Yeah, but they had
Stuff,
yeah.
they had no air support. You didn't see V-wings flying around. You didn't see any of the at that time. Well, would they be Republic cruisers?
yeah.
They would have been at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have basically the 501st ship, their fighter I'm assuming in orbit, but that's one ship.
Yeah.
Like all you have to do is just beat one ship, and then you're out. I mean, look at the Naboo starfighter. When it escaped, didn't come into much resistance, right?
Right.
There were a couple of V-wings, but it's because he took too long to escape. and they had air support versus
Yeah.
like the initial strike. You see no air support. It's just Anakin walking up the steps with the 501st.
Yes.
I mean, the hard part would be doing. I mean, there would be lots of hard parts, but one of the hard parts would be surviving the doing the Obi-Wan thing, like because I would totally. Someone would be like, "Hi, Jedi," and I'd be like, "Hi," and I'd be like, "Oh, damn it!"
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even run. Like, all right, just call him.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think the only way after escaping I could survive would be like brewing beer or something like that. I like the bartending idea.
Yeah.
Brewmaster
You
Jedi.
wouldn't be able to keep your cover though.
Yeah.
No, because and again, it wouldn't be like I'd like want to save somebody. It would just somebody would be like, "Hi, Master," and I'd be like, "Hi," and I'd be like, "Oh,
Not even use your name, just hey, Master.
you're right, huh?"
And it's some slave to do his
Right,
actual
yeah. Right, and it's like that's weird, and then I get reported, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
See, now all you need to do, you like change your name to Jedediah. And that way, if you get caught, then you can say, "Oh no, Jedi's my nickname." Jedediah.
Yeah,
He's not creative.
right. I would.
So he's just doomed regardless.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of doomed.
He would never-
I would
he
get
would-
caught in like the survival phase,
I'm confident that I could like come up with a legit cover and hide.
I think if you
Yeah.
got
You could not.
right, I might be able to get out, but I wouldn't survive the survival phase. But
Yeah.
Well, you're
Kate-
all welcome to join me on the garbage scow.
on the garbage.
I can see you just on a freighter just doing straight up garbage, like being a pack lead.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
totally your vibe you got there.
You know what we could use this for? Oh, we can use this. We don't need to throw this stuff away.
So Dan becomes the janitor at my bar.
Yes.
Yes. I'll brew the beer.
And Drew's brewing.
Yes.
And then
Get a little-
Julia is in charge of like hiring people.
Exactly. So you're the
Dave's
manager.
caught by the
Yeah.
day-to-day operations.
And meanwhile, the secret police are like, "Why is this one bar like radiating force energy?"
It's the hops.
Yeah, it's not. It's just like, what's going on here?
But it would be a franchise though, so that we'd be smart enough that we'd have one. We'd have one restaurant that works, and then franchise it out so that we're not all in one location.
Right.
We're always
Yeah.
using Jedi mind tricks to make people like
Exactly.
the beer.
Yes,
Like we like it. We don't know why.
and also bribing officials so
Right.
that the costs are really down. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they didn't have more like Jedi syndicates or something like that. I mean, yes, you do have the Inquisitors, but at the same time,
You
even
mean,
being
like, what do you mean, like offshoot branches or
Yeah.
Are they like
Yeah.
2-1 with the Force though to have syndicates?
I mean, there's also what we call Force users.
Yeah.
The people that aren't aligned with the Jedi, but still have the ability to use the Force, which is what Ahsoka turned into.
yes, I would think that.
I wouldn't call it a syndicate, though.
Well, and they had
Yeah.
I always thought this was part of like revealing the problem of the Jedi Order. Like toward the end was like they actually had other headquarters, other like temples, but they all kind of gradually got like centralized on Coruscant,
Yep.
and that kind of revealed the like the inner like rotting of the Jedi Order itself.
They had no system redundancy.
Yeah, and they just kind of gradually
So all you had to do was
calcified
have
around the temple. You know?
just have a Klingon be a Jedi and have just redundancy after redundancy.
Klingon, a Jedi.
Master Worf,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
especially the new one
Yes.
in Picard.
Yes.
I can totally see him as Jedi Master Worf.
Yes.
Yeah.
On that note, this has been Church in Space.
In 3D.
See you, folks.
Hey Dan,
Yeah, Drew.
did you bring the extra mic?
No, I forgot the mic, but I did bring a 6-pack of Qui-Gon IPA.
Ooh, I've heard about that one. What kind of hops do they use over there?
Oh, Jedi hops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are those the ones from Naboo or are those the ones from Mustafar?
Mustafar.
Oh, got it. Get that smoky kind of flavor in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a pale ale by any
Ooh,
stretch.
it's an Imperial Pale Ale.
Heaven help us. See you, folks.